$1,000, $4,000. It's going to cost you a lot of money for that one. These are our tests right here. That's what I'm saying. For customers, this is what you have to be to see when you go to a site. This is why he's calling our phone with a fake number from New Jersey. This is why he's upset and angry. This is why he's been hear that clicking sound, clicking over and over again. The messages won't go through. So that was blocked. He can't message us anymore on that line. So that's done. So then he got upset and he came in here and started ranting because he knows his site isn't up to par. He knows he can't back himself up. And he knows what we are requesting for everybody, not just you, Fernando, everybody to have your stuff tested. How hard is that? What's the problem? What's the problem about the batch number? What's the problem? You're going to have to back your stuff up. And this will help you out too, because then again, you can troubleshoot your stuff instead of blaming everybody for tampering with your stuff. Let me see. You should know your own stuff. You really should know it. You see, when I pull that little that projector out and I go, whoop, oh yeah, that's my stuff. I can tell my stuff. So the fact that I know the difference between my product and black paint means I know my own stuff. You, on the other hand, you can't do that. You don't know the difference between your product and gray paint. If you did, those videos would have been posted directly to your site to back that up, but they're not. They were removed. Well, actually, a couple were removed. Test. So we put that straight to the header because it's going to show up either way. Anywhere, it's going to show. Anywhere you pull up, show up. There are customers on-site demonstrations. This is also true for the courts. You make claims that our products didn't work and they can't read. They're impossible to watch. In your apartment, for some reason, our products are unwatchable. Why is that? But yet all these people in schools and the workplace and at the lounge and customers have this technology and it works perfectly fine. And this is where at the end of the year, we're suing you in court for $1 million. This is our testimony right here. And hey, if you want, you could paint that screen up in the courtroom. You could drop it at 1,000 lumens. Let's see if it comes up dark. See? Now, see how I can say that? See how I have all this stuff backing my stuff up? Because I test my stuff. That's why we have the batch numbers and all that stuff to ensure and guarantee our customers that the product is working perfectly fine. And on top of that, to show them they're not being ripped off and they're not being sent house paint in the mail. And you, on the other hand, you can't do that because you are shipping house paint in the mail to your customers and you're ripping them off and lying on camera.
And I could do more.
I don't want to see this on other screen paints. I don't want to see anybody else that's making a screen paint product. I don't want to see you fall into this little nightmare. You don't do this. Don't get on camera. Don't lie about your products. Don't try to make your product seem that there's something that they're not so you could fool people. Don't do that because you're going to have to show the real thing sooner or later. And it's not going to go well. You're going to end up like this guy at the end of the day, ranting on our stream and carrying on and acting up, calling my cell phone, screaming and yelling. And then basically over here, just constantly hitting his account, ranting and carrying on because he's upset. Don't be that person at the end of the day. Make sure your stuff is tested. Make sure you can put yourself and display it. It doesn't have the hard thing you're going to have to go through is getting past the tones. That's going to be your personal nightmare. Being able to go in and say, hey, look, okay, my product doesn't pull 100% contrast. It pulls a fair contrast level. You can say that because it's true. I have to be in an ambient light controlled environment. It works best. Yes, you can say that. It's true. You're being honest with people at the end of the day. But if you're saying, hey, it pulls 100% contrast, we can do it fully, it's a lie. the customer's going to find out. Even if you lie about it, they're still going to find out. And if you do get a customer who is out for your head and he or she is trying to do something fraudulent against you, how do you back yourself in a court of law? There you go. So you can't even back yourself at all, period. If he did business with a company, they bought 80 gallons of this stuff, and they basically switched it out for some gray paint, like he'll never figure it out. You know what I mean? What we're going to do is we're going to basically take his paint and we'll market and sell that someplace else. It happens, trust me. And we'll basically put some gray stuff in there and we'll say, dent the cans and say, hey, the product came in damaged under our contract. You have to replace this. How do you know your own stuff? They'll send you back that gray paint and you'll think, that is mine right there, because you don't know at all. You didn't do any testing. And then they'll turn around and go, and you'll ship them back more. They could run that on you all day long. Not us. They switch that stuff up with regular black paint. We take that projector, run it over, like, oh, we got a problem here. Something's wrong. Something don't look right. Paint it up, hit it with a projector, and that white levels don't push. Got a lawsuit on your hands. See you in court and see you for millions of dollars. You try to scam my company. Yeah, there you go. You got to know your stuff. So people, if you're making this, you want to get into this field, do it. That's what you do. But make sure you back your stuff up. Don't be this guy.
Like showing you black levels, which it's going to fail completely.
I'm not the only one hunting this guy. There's a few agencies hunting this guy. That's why he's doing the fake move. There are people hunting him. There are customers that are hunting him. They got ripped off.
I want to show you some bright things.
So before I go, how would that work? You buy this stuff. You see this demonstration posted to a site, but you know you're not going to see it posted to a site, so I'm going to do that. But anyway, you see this demonstration and you contact him and say, hey, look, I want my money back, or exchange it for something else, or do something at the end of the day. Because he could argue that, did you paint this to your wall? And if you paint it to your wall, he literally could win this, because you can't return that product unless you can honestly show 100% that that product is faulty. You're going to have to back this up. And for him to defend himself, he's going to have a ton of tests to basically back that theory that that product is working 100%. Batch number, that's what they're for. So you can back it up. But on top of that, still, even if you can back it up and you can show that the customer did commit fraud against you, you can defend yourself. But say if the customer didn't commit any fraud against you and basically did find out the product was matching house paint, then you're going to have to work that out somehow. Now, you can't request your stuff back because it's already on its wall, and there's no way you're getting that back at all, period. So you're going to do a partial or something, but you're still going to have to be able to, he's going to have to back it up and you're going to back it up. Either way, if it hits a court of law, somebody's going to have to back up something. Problem you have here with Mr. Fernando is the fact that, say, if you did get a customer and they just basically just send him back great paint and he really doesn't get his product back. Well, how would he know if he got sent back great paint if he really can't tell here? So he can't even tell his own stuff. How would you defend yourself? How would you do it? You can't. So that's why your policy is set up that if that thing lands on your property, it's yours regardless. It doesn't make a difference. It could land up in a tree, on your roof. Doesn't make a difference as long as you just got there. It cracked, busted, paint, whatever. Don't make a difference. It lands on your property. And if you open it, he can claim that you tampered with it. And you could argue, well, how would you know I tampered with it? Can you show me how I would have tampered with it? What makes it different from what the product you have right here you're selling that shows that I tampered with it? He can't show you that. So you can win that part right there with no problem. But then he could go in and argue and say, well, even if I were to give him a return, I can't get the product back because it's on his wall and I can't get it back. Which you can come in and say, well, bottom line is it's a fraudulent product. It's not working. So clearly, if you could prove that he can't test this product and he has no way to show this product actually worked, you win the claim. I've been this already with him already. I've done it already. Mind you, I won 19 PayPal complaints against this guy. I won every single one of them because that's usually what he did in the in his transcripts. I showed you in the transcripts involving the post office mail fraud, where he clearly said that the Frankenstein came black. The Cinemax came black. And it didn't. It was an update or upgrade he said he put in. So knowing and seeing these practices from this individual, this is why all screen paints need to be tested. So that way, you're not getting ripped off. And to the merchant who's selling these products, you need to have this because, again, you could be dealing with a bad customer. So they don't want to back it up. So when we launch the Challenger, which sounds like the car, I know. When we launch the Challenger, the Phantom, it's a different purpose. The purpose for us to launch that technology is to show that we have the capability. We don't care about the screen. This is us. We have the capability to bring something from our archives, upgrade it without testing it, and basically use it to take out other products. That's all that's designed for. But if your product is not properly tested, we're going to go through your specification sheet. I'm going to see exactly what your product is doing. Because I don't expect it to do what my paint does at all. Period. I really don't. I'm not going to put you on like, well, I expect, no, we don't expect that. That'd be virtually impossible. We don't expect that. We just want to show at the end of the day our product is more superior. But I will be going through your specification sheets to see if you are matching your own specification sheet as yourself. You will be tested against other great products and paints and stuff like that. It's the same test we got to put ourselves through. You got to go through. If I have to go through a black versus black, you have to go through a gray versus gray. Which means we get the testing, still get the testing your stuff out as fast as possible. Because we're not going to tell you when it's going to launch. We're going to do, this is the last you're going to hear of it. You're not going to see any video demonstrations, nothing, not a thing. It's just going to pop up and ready to go. That's the best way to do it. Then we can catch you off guard. All right, people, with that being said, I got a volcano to build. I'm going to take this video and get ready to, I got a copy and whatever. And I'm just going to send the whole video over to the FBI because they got to go through and figure out what he said on it because he was ranting about something. I didn't read anything in there. I never read anything that Jamie writes. I see the emojis laughing. That's all I see. But I don't read any of that stuff. That's just stupid. He doesn't say anything as an adult. He just rants and just lashes out. But it'd be wrong for me to comment and make these statements about you, Jamie. Make statements about why we feel that screen paint should be tested. The best way to prove a point on this is to show your demonstrations, which clearly shows your products matching house paint. And this is right directly on his channel. It's not in the blacklist, it's on his channel for you to see this. So again, make sure you just don't get ripped off. All right, right there. That's all finished. I need to go back to my other site because I got to bring up the Phantom and start working on it and get that ready to go. Oh, man. He really cut up like that. Yeah, he's doing that at the end of the day. Can you imagine that attitude he just showed in the room of him cutting up like that and screaming the way he was acting? Can you imagine that? That's somebody you're starting your credit card to, you're starting your personal information to. That's how he acts. I'm going to tell you something right now. Don't do that in court. Don't lose your temper in there and act up like that. You're messing around, you're going to get yourself in a holding cell. Don't do that. That's why I want it where it's just me, you, and a judge. You got no one speaking for you at all. No one to counsel you at all, period. It's just me and you. So you got to know what you're doing. You walk into those chambers. I know what I'm doing. I've been there before. I've been in chambers before. I had to sue people before. I had to go to court for dumb nonsense with companies and stuff like that. So you don't have anyone to advise you in there. So you better use the best of your knowledge while you're in there. So be professional. But you cut up in there, you're going to be in a lot of trouble. But anyway, other than that, just want to give you, I'm glad he came into the room. It is. It's a blessing he came in, and I'll tell you why. Because we needed you to see exactly what kind of person he is and how he carried on. I didn't argue with him. I didn't scream or yell with him. I talked normal. I talked nice and calm. I didn't yell. And I just explained things, and he just lost it in there. So if he's going to carry on like that, you know he's doing stuff, dirty stuff at the end of the day. And this is the reason why I come and back this up, because, Jamie, if you notice from me at the end of the day, I don't make stuff up. I don't have to come in and take your face and put weird character poses on them and lie about this and lie about that. I don't do any of that. This is your evidence we have against you. This is basically you in videos, matching house paint. You're right there talking about it. Then we go to your website and you're selling the very same products knowing you match house paint. Like 2 years back. Never removed it. Try to continue to sell it. Try to continue to lie to your customers.